step back in time with me. The year has just changed over to 2013. Project Booster Fun isn't even a twinkle in Mark Rosewater's eye. Holiday decorations have begun coming down one by one around the neighborhood. You ride the bus home, sharing the left earbud of your iPod Nano with a friend, listening to Call Me Maybe or King for a Day. Your stop arrives and you say you'll see them online. That evening you two are gonna fight zombies together. Not the ones Liliana summons from Innistrad, but the endless waves that our Xbox 360s spit out in the second release of Black Ops. While you wait for everyone to get into the lobby, your mind wanders to the upcoming weekend as you think, what guild will I play? It's your very first pre-release. It's the second set in the block that is our second visit to the mystical plane of Ravnica. You don't know it yet, but the event you play in this weekend will kick off a deep love for Magic the Gathering. Over a decade of friendships and play, from rising to the task of giant competitions to learning the true spirit of kitchen table magic. A discovered love for fantasy art, and a guild pick that would impact your favorite archetype and deck choices to this very day. Oh, did I say you during all of that? I meant me. This is my favorite Magic set of all time. This is Gatecrash. A well-loved box of Gatecrash. I've had this in my collection for a bit now, thinking I'd draft it with friends, but I want to share it all with you. Let's get into it. Oh my goodness. This has been sitting on the shelf for some time now, but cracking the plastic on it just hit me with some feels, I must be honest with you. This really was the set that did it for me. And there's 5 sets, so Ravnica, 5 guilds I mean, so Ravnica showed off the first 4 guilds in the set. Or sorry, the first 5 guilds in the set, and then Gatecrash was the next 5 guilds in the block. So we had Boros, Orzhov, Dimir, Gruul, and I'm pretty sure Simic. I'm fairly certain Simic is the 5th guild in Gatecrash. Get a little insert sheet. Magic the Gathering, Gatecrash. Run a league for your players. A little bit different these days. Okay, well, at least it's not Digimon cards. I would say it was just well loved and not tampered with in any way. I'm so excited. Let's get right into it. Pack 1, we have 36 booster packs. I'm gonna talk about what I'm looking for. Obviously, we're in Ravnica, so Shocklands are the goal. There aren't a ton of chase cards from this set, but there are some cards that have ended up in some pretty unique places and some pretty unique deck strategies. So if we find any of those, we'll talk about them. And then my favorite guild is Orzhov. So any Orzhov is a thumbs up for me. My real chase card is gonna be an Obsidat Ghost Council. That is my favorite Magic card from my favorite Magic set. Okay, here we go. First pack of Gatecrash. A mere 12 years after it came out, starting off with Shadow Slice. This has the Cypher mechanic. Target opponent loses 3 life. Now Cypher, I don't know that we've ever seen Cypher since. So, Cypher. Then you may exile this card encoded on a creature you control. Whenever that creature deals combat damage to a player, its controller may cast a copy of the encoded card without paying its mana cost. I think that's pretty cool. Probably a little expensive for 5 though. Slaughterhorn. It's a 3/2. It has Blood Rush, which is the Gruul mechanic. For green, discard Slaughterhorn. Target attacking creature gets +2/+3/+2 until end of turn. 2 mana and green. Slaughterhorn. Dutiful Thrall. Regenerate. 1 mana. 1/1. And you can regenerate it for black. Towering Thunder Fist. 4 mana and red. And similar, you can pay 1 white. Towering Thunder Fist gains vigilance for a 4/4. So Boros common. Some removal. Executioner's Swing. Target creature that dealt damage this turn gets -5/-5 until end of turn. Primal Visitation. Come on, focus. There we go. 3 colorless, red, green, enchant creature. Enchanted creature gets +3/+3 and has haste. Pretty expensive aura. Definitely. I mean, we've only seen a few commons so far, but power levels have changed. Shielded Passage. Prevent all damage that would be dealt to target creature this turn, so a single creature fog in white. Razor Tip Whip. 2 mana artifact, you can pay 1 and tap it for it to deal 1 damage to target opponent. I'm sure there's probably some shenanigans, although the fact that you have to pay 1, that probably makes it more difficult. But I wonder if there are some weird artifact shenanigans where you can get something else that untaps it, and then you can kind of just do some crazy ping, 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 ping. Furious Resistance. 1 red. Target creature gets +3/+0 and gains first strike until end of turn. Keymaster Rogue. Keymaster Rogue is unblockable for 4 mana. When Keymaster Rogue enters the battlefield, return a creature you control to its owner's hand, an unblockable 3/2. put some equipment or an enchantment on. Our first uncommon, Vizkopa. Vizkopa Confessor. When Vizkopa Confessor enters the battlefield, pay any amount of life. Target opponent reveals that many cards from his or her hand. You choose one of them and exile it. Vizkopa Confessor is a 1/3 with Extort. And Extort, this is the mechanic that made me fall in love with Orzhov. Whenever you cast a spell, you may pay white or black. If you do, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain that much life. A little bit of a rules check here. I didn't realize that you could only do this once for each spell you cast. So if I had 5 mana available and I was casting a 2 mana spell, there were some games against friends where I would pay 3, drain them for 3, and gain 3. And that's not how this works. You can pay 1 extra to gain and drain 1. And that's it. So, sorry if you were one of the friends that I played against and I didn't understand how this worked, but we ended up figuring it out in the end. Rapid Hybridization, a Simic removal spell. Destroy target creature. It can't be regenerated. That creature's controller puts a 3/3 green frog lizard creature token onto the battlefield. Mind Eye Drake. 4 mana and a blue, flying. When Mind Eye Drake dies, target player puts the top 5 cards of his or her library into his or her graveyard. It is a 2/5. 2/5 flyer. And our rare, Whispering Madness in Dimir colors. 2 colorless blue, black. Each player discards his or her hand, then draws cards equal to the greatest number of cards a player discarded this way. And it has Cipher, so you can stitch it onto a creature and cast it again. Then we have a old, interesting, the swamp has the Ravnica. It's a Ravnica, Return to Ravnica basic swamp. And a 1/1 soldier. Alright, that is pack 1. Now, before we get into pack 2, you know it's that time. Go ahead and check in with your body for me. Because whether you have this up on a second monitor while you're trying to work, whether you're just a big fan of ASMR and Magic the Gathering, whether you're trying to use this video to fall asleep, I want you to go ahead and see what your body's telling you. So go ahead and think about your toes and up your legs. Go ahead and stretch those out. Give them a little wiggle. Check in with your chest and your neck and your shoulders. I hold a lot of tension in my neck. I don't even realize it sometimes. Maybe give those a little wiggle. I'm swaying back and forth. I find that really calms me. And then go ahead and stretch out those arms. Oh, that feels good. Give those a nice shake. And then take a nice deep breath for me. And now, whatever you're doing, I hope you're feeling a little bit more relaxed and a little bit more ready to enjoy this video, to focus on whatever you've got to focus on, or to get that nice rest in that's coming for you this evening. And with that, let's jump into pack 2. disciple of the old ways. This is also in that cycle of creatures. So with the pay one of a different color, camera is having a hard time focusing today. I don't know how to get it to grab this instead of... Let me try moving this. I don't know, what, maybe if I move things around. I'm gonna move the box to over here. And then oh, I should separate out the commons and uncommons, I suppose. That's the real, if I'm gonna be a real magic YouTuber, you know, I gotta get my pile organization down. Let's see if the camera will focus a little bit better now. Go ahead and grab that. Come on, camera, there we go. Disciple of the old ways gains first strike for red, and that's a 2/2. Scatter Axe. Counter target non-creature card. Non-creature spell. Draw a card. Kind of expensive for 4 mana. And it's not even, it's conditional removal. That's not a great one. Structural Collapse. Counter player sacrifices an artifact and a land. Structural Collapse deals 2 damage to that player. Land destruction, crazy. 5 colorless and a red. Land destruction is always so expensive. Angelic Edict. Exile target creature or enchantment for 5. Grisly Spectacle. Destroy target non-artifact creature. Its controller puts a number of cards equal to the creature's power from the top of his or her library into his or her graveyard. Removal and mill in the same package. Another Executioner's Swing, we've seen that one. Keymaster Rogue, we have seen this one too. Nav Squad Commandos. Battalion for 5, lots of 5 mana creatures. Battalion, when Nav Squad Commandos and at least 2 other creatures attack, Nav Squad gets +1/+1 until end of turn, untap it. So not quite Vigilance, but you can get it untapped for blocking, and honestly 3/5 is a pretty decent blocker. Attacking is a 4/6, you get to untap it. Madcap Skills. Enchanted creature gets +3/+0 and can't be blocked except by 2 or more creatures. That's called Menace these days. Enchanted creature gets +3/+0 and gains Menace. Balustrade Spy. When Balustrade Spy enters the battlefield, target player reveals cards from the top of his or her library until he or she reveals a land card and then puts those cards into his or her graveyard. Remember when I said that they're... Dang, I just heard a big bang. Remember when I said that there are some cards from this set that maybe aren't the most valuable but have made their ways into some interesting places? Well, this is one of them. I highly encourage you go check out the Rhystic Studies video on the Legacy deck, Oops, All Spells, because this was a key part of that deck. If you don't have any lands in your deck and are required to reveal cards off the top of your deck until you hit a land, you end up putting your entire deck into the graveyard. And there are a lot of shenanigans that you can get into, never mind just straight up certain cards that allow you to win the game instead of lose it if you were to draw a card and your library doesn't have any cards in it. But entire deck, just flip it. into your graveyard, and then the fun really begins, unless you're on the other side and hate combo decks. In that case, it is no fun. Oops. All Spells is a controversial deck, and some people would say it breaks the spirit of Magic the Gathering, you know, magic like Richard Garfield intended. Others say combo is just as valid of a way to play. Let me know what you think. Do you know of the history of Oops, All Spells? If you want to learn more about it, you really should check out the Ristic Studies video. He did such a good job breaking it down. Gift of Orzhova. Oh my goodness. This is one of my favorite pieces of Magic art ever released. I think it is just absolutely gorgeous, and it definitely was part of the falling in love with fantasy art, and it was a beautiful piece that was also in the guild that I was really quite enjoying playing. So it's 2 Orzhov hybrid mana, white or black, and 1 colorless to enchant a creature. That creature gets +1/+1 flying and lifelink. I'd love to get this as a playmat or a print of the art someday, because I think it's just absolutely gorgeous. Johannes Voss is the artist on that one. Gift of Orzhova. Ground Assault, Cruel Colors. Ground Assault deals damage to target creature equal to the number of lands you control. Guardian of the Gateless, flying for 5. Guardian of the Gateless can block any number of creatures. Whenever Guardian of the Gateless blocks, it gets +1/+1 until end of turn for each creature it's blocking. It is a 3/3. And our rare Thespian Stage. Oh my goodness. This is actually incredible that we got this in the same pack as Battlestrad Spy, because this is the other ended up in some unusual places, and by that I mean in a legacy deck that people have varying opinions on. And Thespian Stage has a lot of fun interactions with land-based strategies. One of the more infamous ones is to copy a Dark Depths. Dark Depths is a land that becomes a super powerful, scary creature once you remove a certain number of counters from it. And I don't remember, you either pay to remove those counters or those counters get removed at the start of each turn, something like that. But there's a lot of counters on it, and it doesn't become a creature until all of those counters are gone. However, when Thespian Stage makes a copy of Dark Depths, that copy does not have any of the counters on it, which means it automatically becomes the super scary giant creature. And yeah, it makes for some fun interactions. I did not realize that the original Thespian Stage art is John Avon. That's crazy. Amid rumors of war, the third act of The Absolution of the Guild Pact was quickly rewritten as a tragedy. Thespian Stage. That's a fun pull. A mountain. And a random tip card thing. Predator's Rapport. Choose target creature you control. You gain life equal to that creature's power plus its toughness. 3 mana. Scorchwalker. Blood Rush for 3. Discard Scorchwalker. Target attacking creature gets +5/+1 until end of turn. So it's a creature, but it can also be a in-the-moment combat trick. It can be great if you've got somebody charging in with trample, and then you can surprise in a big blood rush on top. +5/+1 could be pretty devastating. Syndicate of Tithes for 2 with Extort. It's a 2-mana 2/2 with Extort. 1 colorless, 1 white. Leyline Phantom. Leyline Phantom. When Leyline Phantom deals combat damage, return it to its owner's hand. Interesting. Leyline Phantom. I don't remember this card. Zurtan Swine. Zurta Swine. It's a boar creature. 5 mana, cruel colors. Also has Blood Rush. Target creature gets +5/+4 until end of turn. That could also be pretty intense, so if you've got 3 mana open and you're attacking, there are quite a few Blood Rushes that could be pretty scary on the receiving end. Nav Squad Commandos again. Verdant Haven. Enchant a land for 3, pretty common. Enchant lands, and then that land taps for more mana. It's whether it's Verdant Haven or other spells, 3 mana green enchantments that enchant the land and provide some sort of ramp is a pretty standard Magic fare. This one gets you 2 additional life, and that land can be tapped for. When enchanted land is tapped for mana, its controller adds 1 mana of any color. Yes, that land can be tapped for any color. Horror of the Dim. 5 mana, Horror of the Dim gets hexproof until end of turn. 3/4, and you can pay blue for that. Madcap Skills. Call of the Nightwing. 4 mana, blue-black, colorless. Put a 1/1 blue and black horror creature token with flying onto the battlefield and cipher, so you can do that a second time. Holy Mantle. Enchanted creature gets +2/+2 and protection from creatures for 4. Homing Lightning for 4. Homing Lightning deals 4 damage to target creature and each other creature with the same name as that creature. Tokens be gone. Even the big ones. Ooh. Mind Grind. Each opponent reveals cards from the top of his or her library until he or she reveals X land cards, then puts all cards revealed this way into his or her graveyard. X can't be 0. I guess this could be another way to enable that, come on camera. Focus with me today. You can do it. I believe in you. Mind Grind. This could be another way to enable that, flip deck into graveyard if you have no lands situation. We're getting only Dimir rares so far, and our first foil is a Cruel Charm. Cruel Charm is a set of 5 charms that come in this set. 1 in a cycle of 5 charms. Creatures without flying can't block this turn or gain control of all permanents you own. Or Cruel Charm deals 3 damage to each creature with flying. So that middle option is not going to be super common to be in use, but when it is, that's kind of nice. And then either no blocking or wipe out the flying creatures. So yeah, like I said, Booster Fun was just a twinkle, not even a twinkle, in Mr. Rosewater's eye. So foils in every set, or in every pack, no way. We will get one foil rare or foil mythic. It will be great if it's a Shockland. I might cry if it's a Obsidian Ghost Council. But one in an entire box. So that's why some of the older printings, the foil multiplier, especially something like a foil rare, the multiplier was just absolutely insane. Meanwhile, these days, sometimes the foil price and the regular price is within a margin of error of each other. And that's, just a product of the times. Whether you love that or whether you don't is up to you. This has the guild logo for the Gruul foiled in under the text box. A forest and another soldier. Warmind infantry for 3 battalion. Whenever Warmind infantry and at least 2 other creatures attack, it gets +2/+0 until end of turn. It's a 2/3. Metropolis Sprite, a flying 1/2 for 2, and then you can boost it for blue, but it does lose some toughness in the process. Smite, destroy target blocked creature. Slaughterhorn, discard Slaughterhorn, target attacking creature gets +3/+2, a 3/2 for 3. Mortis Strider, when Mortis Strider dies, return it to its owner's hand. A 1/1 skeleton for 1 blue/black. Shamble Shark, Simic colors blue-green, flash, and evolve. This is the first time we're seeing the evolve mechanic. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control, if that creature has greater power or toughness than this creature, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. So you cast this early in the game. As you cast bigger creatures, this guy grows. Shamble Shark. Horror of the Dim. Hexproof on the 3/4. Seen that before. Another Madcap skills. My goodness, we're gonna have like 8 of these. Ivy Lane Denizen. Whenever another green creature enters the battlefield under your control, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. It's a 2/3 for 4. Guildscorn Ward. Guildscorn Ward has protection from multicolored for 1 white. And our second charm, it's a Dimir charm. Choose 1 target creature. Counter. I don't know how I got target creature. Counter target sorcery spell or destroy target creature with power 2 or less. Or look at the top 3 cards of target player's library. Then put 1 back and the rest into that player's graveyard. Dimir charm. That one's versatile. It's a conditional counter, conditional removal, or just some either shenanigans with your opponent's library or filtering for your own. Fire Fist Striker, 2 mana battalion. Whenever Fire Fist Striker and at least 2 other creatures attack, target creature can't block this turn. 2/1. Smog Elemental 6 mana. Creatures with flying your opponent's control get -1/-1. A 3/3 flyer. Gross. And I think this is our rare. Unexpected results. That's not what you want to hear. Simic colors for 4. Shuffle your library, then reveal the top card. If it's a non-land card, you may cast it without paying its mana cost. If it's a land card, you may put it onto the battlefield and return unexpected results to its owner's hand. That is our 4th rare, unexpected results. And a forest. And a 1/1 flying horror token. Daring Skyjet. Frilled Oculus. Wait, I didn't even read Daring Skyjet. We just blasted right through that. It's a 2 mana, 3/1. Whenever Daring Skyjet and at least 2 other creatures attack, it gains flying. Battalion is the Boros mechanic. Frilled Oculus. 1 colorless, 1 blue, or 2 with a green. Well, 1 with a green for 2 to give it +2/+2 until end of turn. You can only do it once. It's a 1/3. Shadow Slice. Slaughterhorn. Beckon Apparition. Exile target card from a graveyard. Put a 1/1 white and black spirit creature token with flying onto the battlefield. A 1 mana instant. Drakewing Krasis. 1 mana, blue-green, 3/1 flying trample. Razor Tip Whip. Madcap Skills. Death's Approach. Enchanted creature gets -X/-X, where X is the number of creature cards in its controller's graveyard. For 1 black, an enchantment aura. Another Balustrade Spy. Skarg Guildmage. This is another cycle of cards, the Guild Mages. So every guild has the charm, the Guild Mage, and then I think it's key runes are the artifacts. Red-green. Creatures you control gain trample until end of turn. 1 red-green. Target land you control becomes a 4/4 elemental creature until end of turn. It's still a land. Cruel Charm. Another Cruel Charm, not foil this time. Cinder Elemental. 4 mana. It is a 4 mana 2/2 that doesn't want to focus. You can pay X and red to sacrifice Cinder Elemental to deal X damage to target creature or player. And our rare, Ogre Slumlord. 3 colorless, 2 black. Whenever another non-token creature dies, you may put a 1/1 black rat token creature Whenever another non-token creature dies, you may put a 1/1 black rat creature token onto the battlefield. Rats you control have Death Touch. Interesting. That's kind of fun. So the dead creatures attract the rats, and the rats have a pretty nasty bite to them. Ogre Slumlord. Island. And a tip card. Simic colors. Grisly Spectacle. Destroy target non-artifact creature. Its controller puts a number of cards equal to that creature's power from the top of their library into the graveyard. Is this our first guild gate? That's actually kind of wild after 5 packs. Yeah, 6 pack 6. Orzhov Guild Gate in my favorite colors. Unfortunately, one of the weaker of the tapped lands because you don't gain a life. You don't get to scry. You don't get to pay 4 and surveil if you've got extra mana. But it does enable, because it's gate, and the set after Gatecrash, Dragon's Maze, which is also something we'll take a look at on this channel, has some mechanics that really take advantage of the gate. So you could play a gates deck and have it be focused around the tap lands, but otherwise not the most powerful cycle of 2 mana tap lands, which I suppose is fair since it comes with a cycle of incredibly powerful dual lands. Adaptive Snapjaw, 5 mana with Evolve. It is a 6/2. The fact that it's a 6/2 with Evolve is interesting, because then you could play like a 3 mana 3/3 and it would still make this guy become a 7/3. Bomber Corpse, 1 and a red. Battalion, causing it to deal 1 damage to target creature or player. Just a little ping and a little extra ping if you're attacking with the squad. It's a 1/2. Midnight Recovery. Return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. And it has Cipher for 4. Problem with Cipher is if you don't have a creature on the battlefield to take advantage of, you kind of lose that benefit, and you're paying extra for the cost of the card compared to the value of the effect if you're not getting the benefit of Cipher, because this is really counting on you getting the chance to cast it twice. Last Thoughts. See, like 4 mana to draw a single card and Cipher. I don't know, that's and it's a sorcery. Like, no, doesn't seem the strongest to me. We have another Guild Mage in Boros colors, Sunhome Guild Mage. For 3, you can bump the power of all your creatures by 1, and for 4, you can create a 1/1 red and white soldier token with haste. It's a 2/2 for 2 Sunhome Guild Mage. Mark for Death. Target creature an opponent controls blocks this turn if able. Untap that creature. Other creatures that player controls can't block this turn. Mark for Death. Gateway Shade. Gateway Shade gets +1/+1 until end of turn for black. You can cast it for 2 colorless and a black. It's a 1/1. Here is an example of a gate strategy. Tap an untapped gate you control. Gateway Shade gets +2/+2 until end of turn. So, there you go. There's some of the benefits to having gates. Nightveil Spectre. This card. Oh, let me tell you about this card. Nightveil Spectre could be cast for 3 blue, 3 black, 2 blue and a black, 2 black and a blue. And it is a 2/3 flyer. When Nightveil Spectre deals combat damage to a player, that player exiles the top card of his or her library. You may play cards exiled with Nightveil Spectre. A lot of effects like this that come out today also include an additional line of text saying you may cast mana of any color to play those spells. Nightveil Spectre required you either being in their colors, your opponent's colors, or you hit their lands along with their creatures, and then you play their lands on your side, use their lands to cast their creatures. Nightveil Spectre was a pretty powerful card. It was pretty scary when you were on the other side and you had been hit by it 2 or 3 times, and they'd have a stack of cards underneath that belonged to you that they were going to be able to cast. But the other benefit to Nightveil Spectre was later, the following block, when we started to keep track of devotion, and a 3-pip, 3-mana creature. So you could get 3 devotion on the battlefield for 3 mana, which could be a big benefit. Nightveil Spectre is pretty cool pull. And a foil common, Wojek, Halberdiers, Battalion. When it attacks with 2 other creatures, Wojek gains first strike until end of turn. It's a 3/2 in Boros colors. A mountain and a tip card. Greenside Watcher, here's another Gates Matter situation. A 2-mana 2/1 that you can tap to untap a target gate. Devour Flesh. Target player sacrifices a creature, then gains life equal to that creature's toughness. Tin Street Market. You can enchant a land for 5, and that land allows you to discard a card and draw a card. Psychic Strike in Dimir colors. Counter target spell, its controller puts the top 2 cards of his or her library into their graveyard. 1 colorless, 1 blue, 1 black. Oops, I did that a little aggressively. Bioshift. 1 blue or 1 green. Instant, move any number of +1/+1 counters from target creature onto another target creature with the same controller. Bioshift. Burst of Strength. 1 green, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature and untap it. Hello, Burst of Strength. There we go. Prophetic Prism. When Prophetic Prism enters the battlefield, draw a card. You may pay 1 and tap to add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. Our second guild gate is also an Orzhov guild gate. That's kind of funny. Totally Lost. And there is Fibblethip. Someone very kindly in the comments of the Ravnica remastered unboxing let me know how to pronounce Fibblethip. So thank you for that. Put target non-land permanent on top of its owner's library. Assault Griffin, 3/2 flyer for 4. Vizkopa Guildmage, here is the Orzhov Guildmage. For 3 mana you can give target creature lifelink, and for 3 mana whenever you gain life this turn, each opponent loses that much life. It is a 2 mana 2/2. Aetherize. Return all attacking creatures to their owner's hand. 4 mana instant Aetherize. Knights of Obligation. Vigilance 2/4 for 4 with Extort. And our rare is our very first Shockland, a Sacred Foundry. If you're not familiar with Shocklands, these are a very important part of Magic's history. The best part about Shocklands is that they have mountain and plains written on them, which means they can be acquired with effects that say you can acquire a mountain or you can acquire a plains from your deck. When Sacred Foundry enters the battlefield, you may pay 2 life. If you don't, Sacred Foundry enters the battlefield tapped, so you get the choice. It comes in untapped and you take a shock, or it comes in tapped and you get access to it next turn. Sacred Foundry, a wonderful... It's not our first rare land, which is kind of funny, but it is our first Shockland. And an island, and a tip card. Way of the Thief. Enchant creature. Enchanted creature causes the camera to focus properly like a good camera. There we go. Enchanted creature gets +2/+2 for 4. Enchanted creature is unblockable as long as you control a gate. So I misspoke a little earlier. I guess there are gate effects in Gatecrash. That makes sense. It's literally in the name, Gatecrash. But there are definitely others that take advantage of having, you know, Pokemon style collect all the gates in Dragon's Maze, which is the next set. Tin Street Market. Dutiful Thrall, a 1/1 that can regenerate. Cloudfin Raptor, an 0/1 for 1 blue flyer evolve. This can get out of hand. You don't pay attention to it first. You don't want to waste a removal spell on that essentially ornithopter. And then all of a sudden that ornithopter is not a little ornithopter anymore. Bioshift. Wojek Halberdiers. Act of Treason. Gain control of target creature until end of turn. Untap that creature. It gains haste until end of turn. 3 mana. Act of Treason. One green Forceful Adaptation. At the beginning of your upkeep, put a +1/+1 counter on enchanted creature. The gift that keeps on giving. Forced Adaptation. Nav Squad Commanders. Get that +1/+1 untap with Battalion. Sage's Row Denizen. Whenever another blue creature enters the battlefield under your control, target player puts the top 2 cards of his or her library into his or her graveyard. It's a 2/3 for 3. Fun fact, there is actually a Ravnica supplement book for Dungeons & Dragons, and in the last campaign that I was playing in, I used the rules for a Vidalkin to play as a kind of human hybrid character, and took a lot of inspiration from the Vidalkin, took a lot of inspiration from the Simic, as well as the Izzet, to design that character. That was a fun one to play. Dinrova Horror. 6 mana. When Dinrova Horror enters the battlefield, return target permanent to its owner's hand. Then that player discards a card. Crackling Perimeter. Tap an untapped gate you control. Crackling Perimeter deals 1 damage to each opponent. That could get out of hand as well. Especially because enchantments are a little bit difficult to get rid of depending on what color you're in. So red and a colorless to ping your opponent with your unused gates at the end of your turn. Not bad. Burning Tree Emissary. This card's incredible. It is in cruel colors, red, green, and when Burning Tree Emissary enters the battlefield, add red, green to your mana pool. This was a staple in a lot of the cruel colored decks at the time. There were cruel decks, there was also Jund decks that were taking advantage of the werewolf archetypes from Innistrad and Avacyn Restored. I can't remember, oh my goodness. There's a card that, it's It's a wolf token. I can't remember what it's called, but Burning Tree Emissary was a pretty common turn 2 play because it allowed you to do that, and then you could do like Burning Tree Emissary, Cruel Charm, Burning Tree Emissary, use a red to shock you for 2, Burning Tree Emissary, Lightning Bolt, or some other 2-mana creature. It could get kind of wild. And our rare, Realm Right, 1 blue, a 1/1. As Realm Right enters the battlefield, choose a basic land type. Lands you control are the chosen type in addition to their other types. So it's a creature version of, what's that land? Shoot, I can't remember the name of it. It's the swamp that Urborg, Tomb of Yogg, anyways, there's a black land. It's a rare land, and it makes all of your lands, it makes all lands a swamp. So this is kind of like that, but you get to choose. And it only affects you. That affects all lands, so even your opponent's lands become swamps. Anyways. Mountain. And a tip card. I really wish more of these tip cards were tokens. I didn't realize how often those were included. Massive Raid. 3 mana. Massive Raid deals damage to target creature or player equal to the number of creatures you control. So this is a bit in the Boros colors because they want to go wide with Battalion. You got a bunch of tokens, and that's pretty helpful for you. But one of those cards that is mixed, because if you're behind, it's not very helpful, because if you don't have creatures out, it's not doing much. Pit Fight for 2, target creature you control fights another target creature. Psychic Strike. Totally Lost. And a Boros Guildgate to go with our Sacred Foundry. Not quite as powerful. Assault Griffin, a 3/2 flyer for 4. Adaptive Snapjaw. Skin Brand Goblin, a 2-mana 2/1 with Blood Rush, discard to give target creature +2/+1. Syndicate Enforcer, a 3/2 for 4 with Extort. Mental Vapors, ooh, that is creepy. Target player discards a card. Cipher. That art is some creepy art. Fitting for October. That's an uncommon, yep. Cartel Aristocrats. 1 white. Well, Cartel Aristocrat. 1 white, 1 black. Aristocrat strategies usually involve sacrifice. Well, I think always, if a deck is called Aristocrat. So this is a sacrifice outlet. You can sacrifice another creature to give it protection of the color of your choice until end of turn. And then what you want to do is you want to have other cards on the battlefield that say whenever you sacrifice a creature, and get those benefits as well. White of Precinct 6. Wit of I don't know how to say this. White of Precinct 6 gets +1/+1 for each creature card in your opponent's graveyard. It's a 2-mana 1/1. Mill your opponent. Zombie gets bigger. Alms Beast is our Orzhov rare. Creatures blocking or blocked by Alms Beast have lifelink. It is a 6/6 beast for 4. And a foil Kingpin's Pet. 2/2 flying with Extort. I love the look symbol. 3 mana, Kingpin's Pet. And a swamp. Oh, and there's the 1/1 rat. It doesn't have Death Touch though. Oh no, because the card gives them Death Touch, that's right, so 1/1 rat. Look at that. We're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 packs in and only 3 foils, so that's what I'm talking about. Booster fun. There's no borderless, there's no alternate art. It just is. And you might love that, you might not love that, but it was a different time in Magic the Gathering. Cloudfin Raptor. Aerial Maneuver. Spire Tracer for green. Spire Tracer can't be blocked except by creatures with flying or reach. Shadow Slice. Zorta Swine. Martial Glory. 4 Boros colors, red and white. Target creature gets +3/+0 until end of turn. Target creature gets +0/+3 until end of turn. Martial Glory. Forced Adaptation. At the beginning of your upkeep, put a +1/+1 counter on enchanted creature. Nav Squad Commandos. Sage's Row Denizen. Razor Tip Whip. Tower Defense, one of my favorite types of video games. 1 colorless, 1 green, instant. Creatures you control get O+0/+5 and gain reach until end of turn. Let me know if you have any favorite tower defense games, because I have been playing Kingdom Rush Frontiers. There's a few different Kingdom Rush games, but I've been playing Kingdom Rush. I think Frontiers is the one that I have. And I love a tower defense game. I think it's Thronefall is the other game that I've played. And I just think they're so fun. Here we go, Orzhov Key Rune. Orzhov colors for 3, so yeah, they are key runes. You can add the Orzhov colors to your mana pool, or pay 2 to make it a 1/4 artifact creature with lifelink. Miming Slime. Put an XX green ooze creature token onto the battlefield, where X is the greatest power among creatures you control. And the rare Sepulchral Primordial for 7 mana. Intimidate. I'm surprised that Intimidate doesn't have the rules text, because we don't see Intimidate anymore, but if I remember correctly, it was can only be blocked by creatures, by black creatures or artifacts, if I remember. It was something like that. When the Primordial enters the battlefield, for each opponent, you may put up to 1 target creature card from that player's graveyard onto the battlefield under your control. And a Plains. Metropolis Sprite. Angelic Edict. Devour Flesh. Shamble Shark. Beckon Apparition. Zorichi Tiger of 4 mana, 2/3. You can pay 2 and tap it to gain 2 life. That's a scary looking cat. Bomber Corpse. Whenever another white creature enters the battlefield under your control, tap target creature an opponent controls. Court Street Denizen is a 3-mana 2/2. Wildwood Rebirth. Return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. A Dimir Guildgate. A Cruel Key Rune, so you can do red or green, or it can become a 3/2 red-green beast artifact with trample. Or Ord Rune Veteran. Minotaur Soldier for 4 mana in Boros colors with Battalion. And when Battalion is activated, it gains double strike as a 3/1. Hellraiser Goblin. Creatures you control have haste and attack each combat if able. 2/2 for 3. And another Primordial. This time it is the Diluvian Primordial. 7 mana flying avatar. When Diluvian Primordial enters the battlefield, for each opponent you may cast up to 1 target instant or sorcery card from that player's graveyard without paying its mana cost. If a card cast this way would be put into a graveyard this turn, exile it instead. Plains. And a bonus card. Street Market. Dutiful Thrall. Purge the Profane. Target opponent discards 2 cards, and you gain 2 life. 4 mana. Purge the Profane. Rumination Worm. 6 mana, 7/6. In Cruel colors, just a big worm. That's all it is. A Simic Guildgate. Basilica cards, 1/4 with Defender and Extort. I bet the cards would extort you, that sounds about right. Ember Beast. Ember Beast can't attack or block alone. A 3 mana 3/4. Sky Games. Enchant land. Target creature gains flying until end of turn. Activate this ability only anytime you could cast a sorcery. 2 mana. This is interesting because you enchant the land instead of the creature. Normally auras aren't great because if you lose the creature, it's like a 2-for-1, you lose the aura too. But if this enchants a land and then you can use the land to give that benefit to the creature, maybe a little bit better. Maybe a little bit worse because you have to use the land to activate it. I don't know. I guess it's situational. Slate Street Ruffian. Whenever Slate Street Ruffian becomes blocked, defending player discards a card, a 2/2 for 3. Another beautiful gift of Orzhova. Thrall Parasite, a 1/1 for 1 with Extort. You can tap to pay 2 life, remove a counter from target non-land permanent. Interesting. Boros Elite. Battalion. It's a 1 mana 1/1. Battalion to get +2/+2 until end of turn. Treasury Thrall. 6 mana 4/4 with Extort. Whenever Treasury Thrall attacks, you may return target artifact, creature, or enchantment card from your graveyard to your hand. symbol on it. How funny. Oh wow, look at that. And a planes. And a 1/1 soldier. Predator's Rapport. It's a 3 mana. You gain life to the power and the toughness. Contaminated Ground. 2 mana enchanted land is a swamp. Whenever enchanted land becomes tapped, its controller loses 2 life. Scorchwalker. Mortis Strider. Ruination Worm. Adaptive Snapjaw. Skinbrand Goblin. Syndicate Enforcer. Simic Guildgate. Basilica Guards. Merfolk of the Depths, a 4/2 flash for 6. 4 colorless, 1 green blue, 1 green blue. A Merfolk Soldier, 4/2 with flash. Mental Vapors. Simic Charm. Blue-green, 2 mana instant. Choose one, target creature gets +3/+3 until end of turn, or permanents you control gain hexproof until end of turn, or return target creature to its owner's hand. Simic Charm. And our rare, Cruel Rage Beast. Whenever Cruel Rage Beast or another creature enters the battlefield under your control, that creature fights target creature an opponent controls. 7 mana, 6/6, Cruel Rage Beast. A swamp. Scab Clan Charger. Blood Rush, discard to give attacking creature +2/+4. It's a 2/4 for 4. Daring Skyjet. Towering Thunderfist. Pay 1 to give it vigilance. It's a 5 mana 4/4. Hands of Binding, 2 mana. Tap target creature an opponent controls. That creature doesn't untap during its owner's next untap step. Cipher. That's an interesting card. And look, it's binding down the Boros creature. Mugging. Mugging deals 2 damage to target creature. That creature can't block this turn. Look at this flavor text. Scream. Muffled. Pockets. Emptied. Neck function. Never the same again. That's terrifying. Purge the Profane. Discard those cards and give me some life. Clinging. Anemones. It's a defender. with Evolve, a 1/4 for 4. Millennial Gargoyle, that's me. 4 mana, a 2/2 flying gargoyle. I'm a millennial gargoyle. Active Treason. Boros Key Rune, tap for Boros colors, or you can pay 2 to make it a 1/1 soldier with double strike. Rapid Hybridization. Undercity Informer. 3 mana for a 2/3 in black. Sacrifice a creature. Target creature reveals card. Target player reveals cards from the top of his or her library until he or she reveals a land card. Put those cards into his or her graveyard. And our rare Legion Loyalist. I love this card. A 1 mana red Goblin Soldier. It's a 1/1 with haste. And when Legion Loyalist attacks with Battalion, creatures you control gain first strike, trample, and cannot be blocked by creature tokens. Kinda wild. Legion Loyalist. And a foil uncommon. No, sorry. This is our foil rare. So, this is it. This is our probably one foil rare for the box. And it is a Diluvian Primordial. A 7 mana bomb. An avatar. A 5/5 flyer. That gets you value from your opponent's graveyard. Diluvian Primordial. Shadow Alley Denizen, 1 black, 1/1. Whenever another black creature enters the battlefield under your control, target creature gains Intimidate. Here we go. Can't be blocked except by artifact creatures and or creatures that share a color with it. Okay, so I believe black creatures just more often have Intimidate than others. But yeah, artifact creatures or creatures that share a color. Scab Clan Charger. Leyline Phantom. Primal Visitation. Syndicate Enforcer. Burst of Strength. Basilica Guards. Spell Rupture. 2 mana, counter target spell unless its controller pays X, where X is the greatest power among creatures you control. Simic Guildgate. Boros Charm. Now, this uncommon in 2013 would have just paid for our pack. When this set first came out, Boros Charm was legitimately a $4 or $5 uncommon at the time. So if you pulled one, it kind of paid for your pack. Choose one for red and white. Instant speed. Boros Charm deals 4 damage to target player. Permanents you control are indestructible this turn, or target creature gains double strike until end of turn. 3 powerful modes for a simple 2 mana, and it wasn't too difficult for red decks to splash for white to get access to Boros Charm. Mark for Death. Target creature an opponent controls blocks this turn. If able, untap that creature. Other creatures that player controls can't block this turn. Fortress Cyclops. Boros colors 5 mana, 3/3. When it attacks, it gets +3/+0. And when it blocks, it gets +0/+3. Gaia Sage as the rare 2 mana. Evolve 1/2. It's an elf druid, and you can tap to add green to your mana pool for each +1/+1 counter on Gaia Sage. That is pretty cool. So as it gets bigger, it also helps you ramp for even more. Gaia Sage. And a foil True Fire Paladin. You can bump it for 2 to get +2/+0, or you can give it, or /and you can give it first strike. A 2/2 vigilance in foil True Fire Paladin. And a very exciting swamp. And a very exciting soldier. Let's do a no talking chunk. So I'm going to do these next 3. We'll just do card sounds and some tapping. And then if I've got anything to say about the pulls, I'll say it once we finish up with the 3. 3 rares. We got the Wrecking Ogre, Bio Visionary. Now this one's interesting. So if you have 4 Bio Visionaries, you win the game. Oh my goodness, you can do it, camera. I believe in you. At the beginning of the end step, if you control 4 or more creatures named Bio Visionary, you win the game. And then we got Enter the Infinite, and this is one of the chase cards in the set. It is very expensive. 12 mana. Draw cards equal to the number of cards in your library, then put a card from your hand on top of your library. You have no maximum hand size until your next turn. Enter the Infinite. Smite, Krakenora, Hands of Binding, Massive Raid, Shattering Blow, Death Cult Rogue, Ivy Lane Denizen, Guild Scorn Ward, Clinging Anemones, Millennial Gargoyle, Merfolk of the Depths, Hinder Vines, Demir Keyrune. This one you can make a unblockable 2/2 horror. And for our rare, it is a mythic. It is our first planeswalker of the box. Domri Raid. It is a 3 mana Domri Raid. You can +1 to look at the top card of your library. If it's a creature card, you may reveal it and put it into your hand. You can -2 to have target creature you control fight another target creature, or you can ultimate it for 7 to get that emblem. Creatures you control have double strike, trample, hexproof, and haste. Domri Raid. That is a fun pull from Gatecrash. I love the way that the mythic symbol looks in Gatecrash. It really pops with the mythic orange or mythic red, whatever color it is. Domri Raid. And a plains. And a 1/1 flying spirit token. I believe there's one other available planeswalker in this set, and that is a Gideon. Night Watch. Gutter Skulk. Hydroform. Ember Beast. Cruel Guildgate. Wildwood Rebirth. Foundry Street Denizen. Corpse Blockade. Armored Transport. Frenzied Tilling. 3 mana, red green, destroy target land, search your library for a basic land card. Put that card onto the battlefield tapped. Then shovel your library. Serene Remembrance. True Fire Paladin. And a Stolen Identity. Put a token onto the battlefield that's a copy of target artifact or creature. This could be a good way to get more Bio Visionaries out to win the game. Cipher. So you could do that twice. That could get you up to 3. That could be 3 of your Biovisionaries. That actually could be a pretty fun deck to try and build. Foil Elusive Crassus. An unblockable 0/4 with Evolve. You can ignore it at first, but it will become problematic. Forest. Predator's Rapport. Scorchwalker. Leyline Phantom. Syndic of Tithes. Death Cult Rogue. Hydroform. Ruination Worm. Skybinder Staff. Skyblinder Staff. Nav Squad Commandos. Verdant Haven. Crackling Perimeter. A Gruul Charm. Boros Elite. And a Boros Reckoner. Incredible. I used to play a deck that had Boros Reckoner in it. So let me read you the card and then I'll tell you. Similar to Night Veil Spectre, but in Boros colors, 3 red or 3 white. Whenever Boros Reckoner is dealt damage, it deals that much damage to target creature or player. Boros Reckoner gains first strike until end of turn. Red, white, it's a 3/3. Now, I was playing a red, white, black deck at the time, and we didn't have the name Mardu yet. So it was called a few different things. Some people said Borzov. That was one way to say it, but we now would call it Mardu. And I played Boros Reckoner, and I played Lingering Souls, which allowed me to create a bunch of 1/1 flying tokens. I also had my favorite card in it. It was really an Orzhov deck that I ended up splashing red for. So it was a mishmash of, it was a token deck, it was a life gain, life drain deck. I had Liliana of the Veil, I had Obsidian Ghost Council, but one of the really fun interactions was Boros Reckoner and a bunch of tokens, and I had a singleton copy of Blasphemous Act. Blasphemous Act is a 13 mana spell that costs 1 less for either each creature you own or each creature on the battlefield, and it deals 13 damage to every creature. So, if I have Boros Reckoner and 4 spirit tokens on the battlefield, and you've got a couple of creatures on the battlefield, that Blasphemous Act ended up getting a lot cheaper, and I would pay it, destroy everything. 13 damage gets dealt to Boros Reckoner, and that is 13 damage that I am going to deal directly to your face. So, I definitely ended a game or two with a Blasphemous Act into my own Boros Reckoner to ping you for 13. I guess it's not a ping at that point, it's a real burn. So yeah, Boros Reckoner, pretty fun card. Island. I forget what he calls them. I don't know if you've ever watched. I see his Magic Monday streams. Well, I never watch a stream, but I watch the VOD. Pay money, Wubby. He makes some packs into a mega pack, and I think we should do that. So I know it's gonna be 1, 2, 3. Oh wait, hopefully there's no foil. If there's a foil, we kind of screw this up. I mean, it would be nice if there's okay, I'm just gonna assume there's no foil, and I might screw it up. So we have lands, and then 3 uncommons, and our commons. Token, land, rare. 3 uncommons, and our commons. Token, land, rare. 3 uncommons, and our commons. So we'll take our stack of commons, our stack of uncommons. We'll wedge our rares in there, and the tokens and lands. It's a mega pack. Night. This is like a deck. This is ridiculous. This is like a limited deck. Night Watch. The Night Watch is blurry, so they're having a hard time keeping an eye out for things. Night Watch. Contaminated Ground. Greenside Watcher. Way of the Thief. Shattering Blow. Drakewing Crisis. Death's Approach. Balustrade Spy. Guild Scorn Ward. Furious Resistance. Shadow Alley Denizen. Krakenora. Shattering Blow. Kingpin's Pet. Bomber Corpse. Court Street Denizen. Wildwood Rebirth. Demir Guildgate. Prophetic Prism. Midnight Recovery. Night's Watch. Contaminated Ground. Greenside Watcher. Pit Fight. Executioner's Swing. Naturalize. Armored Transport. Totally Lost. Boros Guildgate. Assault Griffin. And our first uncommon, Core Clan Rampager. 4 mana, 4/4 with trample, or you could pay 2 in cruel colors to give target creature +4/+4 and trample. This was a combat trick that you really had to watch out for in Standard, because it could get you. Gridlock. Tap X target non-land permanents. Experiment 1. Experiment 1 is a 1/1 with Evolve, and you can remove 2 +1/+1 counters to regenerate. Sun Home Guildmage. Void Walk. Exile target creature, return it to the battlefield under its owner's control. At the beginning of the next end step, Cipher for 4 mana. Hellraiser Goblin. Rust Scarab. When Rust Scarab becomes blocked, destroy target artifact or enchantment defending player controls. Orzhov Kirun. Incursion Specialist. Rubble Hulk is our first rare. Rubble Hulk's power and toughness are equal to the number of lands you control, which is probably at least 6. It is 4 mana and a red-green, or you can Blood Rush it for 3 to give target attacking creature +X/+X, where X is the number of lands you control. Rubble Hulk. Soul Ransom. 2 colorless, blue, black. Enchant creature you control, enchanted creature. Discard 2 cards. Soul Ransom's controller sacrifices it, then draws 2 cards. Only any opponent may activate this ability. Assemble the Legion. This is a fun one. At the beginning of your upkeep, put a muster counter on Assemble the Legion. Then put a 1/1 red and white soldier creature token with haste onto the battlefield for each muster counter on Assemble the Legion. It's 5 mana. It starts out a little slow, but it gets pretty crazy if it's able to last a few turns. Island, a 1/1 flyer, a tip card, a plains, a tip card, and a forest. I must admit, I'm a little shocked that literally, that we've only seen one Shockland. I thought that you expected to see like 4 to 7 per box, if I remembered correctly, so there's still time. We could get a crazy, spew of them in a row, but we shall see. Warmind Infantry, Scatter Arc, Purge the Profane, Shamble Shark, Assault Griffin, Skyblinder Staff, Skinbrand Goblin, Last Thoughts, Cruel Guild Mage, Court Street Denizen, Agoraphobia, Holy Mantle, Simic Key Rune, Consuming Aberration. 3 colorless, blue, black. Creature, horror. Consuming Aberration's power and toughness are equal to the number of cards in your opponent's graveyard. Whenever you cast a spell, each opponent reveals cards from the top of their library until they reveal a land card. Put those cards into the graveyard. It's time to start another common pile. We did so well with Shocklands in the Ravnica Remastered box that I'm struggling a little bit with just the one Sacred Foundry, but that's okay, we're still having fun, isn't that right? I'm just appreciating these cards again. It's been a long time since I've opened Gatecrash. Warmind Infantry, Smite, Krakenora, Hands of Binding, Zuerta Swine, Mugging, Kingpin's Pet, Sage's Road Denizen, Razortip Whip, Madgap Skills, Call of the Nightwing, Dying Wish, Mind-Eye Drake, Skarg Goliath, 8 mana, Trample, 9/9, Blood Rush for 7, discard to give attacking creature +9/+9, and Trample. Probably the end of the game, if you pull that off. A 3/3 Frog Lizard token. Metropolis Sprite, Angel's Edict, Devour Flesh, Sky Knight Legionnaire, Beckon Apparition, Burst of Strength, cards. Spell Rupture, Simic Guildgate, Sarichi Tiger, Elusive Krasis, Mental Vapors, Miming Slime, Mystic Genesis, 2 green, blue, instant. Counter target spell. Put an XX green ooze creature token onto the battlefield, where X is that spell's converted mana cost. Imagine getting that on like a dig through time. Ooh, incredible. Swamp. And a 1/1 horror. Basilica Screecher, Way of the Thief, Spire Tracer, Syndic of Tithes, Ruination Worm, Paranoid Delusions, Wojek Halberdiers, Act of Treason, Riot Gear, Verdant Haven, 1,000 Lashes, Murder Investigation, Orzhov Charm, High Priest of Penance, white, black, 1/1. Whenever High Priest of Penance is dealt damage, you may destroy target non-land permanent. And a 2/2 Vigilant Knight. Okay, we have 8 packs left. Let's hope we get some Shocklands. Shockland or an Obsidian Ghost Council. I would be so happy with either of those. Which of the guilds from Gatecrash do you find yourself enjoying the most? Is it the Evolve of the Simic? Is it the Extortion of the Orzhov? The Raging Power of the Gruul? Or the sneaky and controlling of the Dimir? You know that I'm here for the Orzhov. But I'd love for you to let me know which guild you like down in the comments below. I'm going to do a community poll as well. And the reason for that is because I also have one of each of the pre-release kits from Gatecrash, and each pre-release kit is a different guild. Along with those pre-release kits, I have a pre-release kit from Duskmourn, and I thought it would be fun to do an old versus new pre-release kit video. So I'm definitely going to do the Duskmourn as the new, but then Simic, Orzhov, Boros, Gruul, or Dimir, which should be the old comparison. And a Godless Shrine. Amazing. Beautiful Godless Shrine. White or black. It is a plains swamp. there is no Shockland that I want more than a Gatecrash Godless Shrine. I assume it's, back buried in my parents' basement somewhere, but I had a playmat of Godless Shrine that I haven't seen in a long time. Maybe that will be found and make an appearance on the channel in the future. The best Shockland, obviously. Judgment without hope. Godless Shrine. And a swamp. And an ooze. A star ooze. Ready? This is gonna set us off. We're about to go on the Shockland run. Aerial maneuver. Basilicus creature. Disciple of the old ways. Massive raid. Drakewing Crisis. Pit fight. Balustrade spy. Ivy Lane denizen. Death's approach. Sage's Row denizen. Arrows of justice. Debtor's pulpit. Hold the gates. What did I say? What did I say? And a watery grave. Oh my goodness. Back to back Shocklands after how many packs in a row without a Shockland? Godless Shrine into watery grave. Amazing. Blue lands usually have a little bit of a price premium to them, so we love to pull the blue-black watery grave. Amazing, and there's a Ral's Eric quote. I fear as we scurry after phantoms, the Demir pull 9 puppet strings. Ral's Eric. Ral's Eric makes an appearance in the next set, Dragon's Maze. Watery grave, so exciting. Mountain. Okay, we are up to 3 Shocklands. I think that's, honestly, if it stops there, I'd be pleased. But we've got 6 packs left. Maybe we can get one more, get up to 4. Do you think we could get 3 in a row? That'd be kind of crazy. That would be kind of crazy. So, my plan with all of these, they will get added to the pool of cards that I pulled in the Ravnica Remastered box. And any future visits to Ravnica, like the Dragon's Maze box that I hinted at, as well as the Gatecrash pre-release sets, and ideally over the course of the channel, we are able to make a stop to every Ravnica set. I would love to be able to, over time, do everything from original Ravnica City of Guilds up through Murders at Karlov Manor, and then once we've got a pool of cards from Ravnica, all that have been opened on the channel, I want to go through and build a deck for every guild. Probably a singleton, so probably Commander or that newer 60-card singleton format that I can't remember the name of. And I'll build a Boros deck, and I'll build a Simic deck, and I'll build an Orzhov deck, and I'll build an Izzet deck, and each one of those can be a video on the channel of pulling from what we've opened and building the best of that. I think that would be a really cool series. I love Ravnica. It feels so Magic the Gathering. I mean, we literally use the names of the Ravnica guilds to call the certain color pairs what they are, so that's the goal. Burning Tree Emissary into Stomping Ground. Nope, not quite. It's a frontline medic. 2 mana and a white creatures. Creatures you control get indestructible. You can sacrifice it to counter target spell with X in its mana cost unless its controller pays 3. Frontline Medic. Maybe a bit of a Sphinx's Revolution foil. Forest. Wouldn't it have been crazy if I had actually called a stomping ground right there? Alarm Fire. 2 red mana and 1 colorless enchantment. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage, put a blaze counter on 5 Alarm Fire. Remove 5 blaze counters. Deal 5 damage to target creature or player. An island and a 1/1 soldier token. Fourth to last pack. If you are enjoying this, I wouldn't be doing my role as a small YouTuber if I didn't ask you to hit that like button. It really does make a big difference. I've been so touched by all of your positive comments and the encouragement that you have shared to continue with this channel. I'll be completely honest, life has been throwing me a lot of rather unpleasant surprises lately, which is what got me to finally start this channel. I sat on the Twilight Masquerade video, half edited for months before I posted it, and I just put myself out there and tried something new, and those of you that have left comments and told me to keep it up and keep going, I really do appreciate it. It's why I'm recording right now. I can't believe we already have a video over 1,000 views. There's 80-something of you who have said, I want to come back and see more. And I super appreciate that. So if you want to join the list of folks who get notified when I post, please hit that subscribe button. I was always disappointed by how little ASMR Magic the Gathering content was on YouTube, and nobody really takes a nice slow approach to Magic the Gathering anymore. It's always jump to the rare, and we don't care unless it's worth something. But I wanted to take the time to connect with others who just wanted to slow down, be kind to each other, and share this love of a game that we all play. Smog Elemental into our rare. Luminate Primordial. We've got 3 of the 5 Primordials. 7 mana, Vigilance, 4/7. When Luminate Primordial enters the battlefield, for each opponent, exile up to 1 target creature that player controls, and that player gains life equal to its power. Luminate Primordial. And a foil Syndic of Tithes. Alright. Our final packs. third to last pack. Come on, Obsidat, Ghost Council. My gosh, I'm just making a mess. We will review all the rares that we pulled one more time at the end of the video. Green Side Watcher, Devour Flesh, Tin Street Market, Psychic Strike, Bioshift, Corpse Blockade, Burst of Strength, Prophetic Prism, Orzhov Guildgate, Totally Lost, Skarg Guildmage, Tower Defense, Simic Charm, and a Foundry's Champion. 4 colorless red, white. When Foundry's Champion enters the battlefield or deals damage to target creature or player, it deals damage to target creature or player equal to the number of creatures you control. You can pay red to boost its power, or you can pay white to boost its toughness. A 4/4 for 6 in Boros colors. Foundry Champion. Mountain. Tin Street Market. Cloudfin Raptor. Aerial Maneuver. Spire Tracer. Kingpin's Pet. Oh my goodness, camera. Hydroform. Millennial Gargoyle. Active Treason. Forced Adaptation. Nav Squad Commandos. Ripscale Predator. Demir Kirun. Gateway Shade. And our second to last rare. Will it be shocking? A Sylvan Primordial. We are only missing 1 Primordial. 7 mana. 5 colorless. Green, green. It's a 6/8 avatar with reach. When Sylvan Primordial enters the battlefield, for each opponent, destroy target non-creature permanent that player controls. For each permanent destroyed this way, search your library for a forest card. Put that card onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle your library. Sylvan Primordial. Plains. And a tip card. Our final pack of Gatecrash. Scorchwalker, Daring Skyjet, Frilled Oculus, Shadow Slice, Psychic Strike, Shattering Blow, Furious Resistance, Forced Adaptation, Millennial Gargoyle, Shielded Passage, Cruel Kirun, Mark for Death, Orzhov Charm. I didn't read it earlier, so I'll read it now to keep you on edge for one last Shockland. Well, hopefully Shockland. One last rare or mythic. White, black, instant. Return target creature you control and all auras you control attached to it to their owner's hand. Or destroy target creature and you lose life equal to its toughness. Or return target creature card with converted mana cost 1 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. One last rare or one last mythic. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you enjoyed this, please do let me know. Your comments truly are one of the most motivating things. I really
really appreciate all the kind words that you've shared, and I have a lot of more. I have more fun things planned, including some creepy horror themed Halloween ideas, as well as some other opportunities to maybe pull something serialized on the channel. So if you want to see where magic meets Halloween, hit subscribe. And a second Night Veil Spectre. Not a bad final rare. Our only duplicate rare, I believe. And a swamp. A little bit light on the Shocklands, but that is okay. We got a blue Shockland, which we are happy about. We got a Godless Shrine, which we are happy about. Honestly, the only thing that I would have wished we pulled would have been an Obsidian Ghost Council, but let's take a look. I'll go through the foils and I'll go through the rares. And we will see everything that we got. Syndic of Tithes is the foil common. Elusive Crisis is a foil uncommon. True Fire Paladin is a foil uncommon. Diluvian Primordial is a foil rare. A foil Mountain. A foil common Kingpin's Pet. A foil Wojek Halberdiers. A foil uncommon Gruul Charm. And Sylvan Primordial. Let's put all the primordials together. I'm going to do all the primordials and then I'll organize by guild and we'll see what we got. Foundry Champion is Boros. Illuminate Primordial. 5 Alarm Fire, that I'm going to say is Boros. Frontline Medic, that is Boros. Watery Grave. Godless Shrine. Orzhov. Mystic Genesis is Simic. Skarg Goliath. Blood Rush, that's a Gruul. Night Veil Spectre is Dimir. I'll put that over here. Consuming Aberration is Dimir. Rubble Hulk is Gruul. Assemble the Legion is Boros. Soul Ransom is Dimir. Boros Reckoner is Boros. It's in the name. Stolen Identity is Dimir. Domri Raid is Gruul. Wrecking Ogre is Gruul. Biovisionary is Simic. Enter the Infinite, I don't really know. I'm not going to say it fits anywhere. Maybe it's Gruul. Or Dimir, Gyre Sage Evolve, that's a Simic card. Legion Loyalist, that's a Boros card. Gruul Rage Beast, obviously a Simic card. Just kidding, it's a Gruul card. A Primordial, or 4th Primordial. Ogre Slumlord. Whenever a non-token creature dies. I don't really know. We'll say that's Orzhov. Unexpected Results is Simic. Mind Grind is Dimir. Thespian Stage. Whispering Madness. Treasury Thrall. A second, so we got 2 of the blue primordial, 1 foil, 1 regular. Alms Beast. Realm Right. I'll put that in, I don't know, Simic. Night Veil Spectre. Sacred Foundry is Boros. So let's put Watery Grave over here and the Godless Shrine there. Obviously, we are really the most set to build a Dimir deck. So is that what I should open? Should I open the Dimir pre-release kit with the new versus old Duskmourn pre-release kit? Or should I do what we had the least for, Orzhov? Or one of the ones in between? You let me know. This was a trip back in time to 2013. This was Gatecrash. Thank you so much for watching. Have a beautiful rest of your morning, afternoon, evening, whatever time of the day it is in whatever part of the world you are. Remember, be kind and lead with love. See you next time.